Hi everyone, welcome to this new speed build in The Sims 4. Today I'm building a minimalist inspired house, which is actually a kind of house I wanted to build since Eco Lifestyle came out, because the items we got with this pack really to me look like minimalist items for some reason. I guess it comes from their shapes and the tone, the wood tones and the colors that they have. But I've never really went around and did a minimalist house, but as I was looking for some inspiration to build a Japanese inspired house, I came across a lot of minimalist Japanese houses. I guess this is a style that's quite popular over there. I'm not so sure, to be honest, because I'm not the most educated when it comes to Japanese culture. But when I saw all of those houses, Japanese and minimalist houses, it really inspired me, and so I kind of mixed two houses that I saw on Google to create this house. So this house has two bedrooms, one being the master bedroom, the other one being for a child, as I thought as I was building this house. You have, of course, the living, dining, and kitchen area. You also have a bathroom, although the bathroom is kind of cut in half, because this is something that's apparently done a lot in Japan, I guess. I've read this on a couple articles. I don't exactly know why, but the bathrooms, the toilets aren't in the washing room in a way, where you have the shower or the bathtub. It's always separated, which kind of makes sense to me. So in this house, you have the toilets downstairs and the shower and sink upstairs. I tried to put a toilet upstairs, but the house, as you can see, is quite small inside. The size of this house actually is quite nice. I actually kind of like it, but it wasn't big enough for me to be able to place two bathrooms, two toilets, two showers. It was kind of difficult to make a layout in this house because I wanted for the house to look really simple and to be easy to move around. So here you have the living room. It's not heavily decorated. It's really white with light colors, light wood tones, and as you can see, I've mixed and matched both items from Eco Lifestyle and Snowy Escape. I actually mainly used items from these two packs as well as from the base game as well, and I think I've used some items from Tiny Living stuff, because these items with the wood tones, they really went well together, and they also really go well with the base game. The dining table that I will use, the wood tone is a little bit too light to my liking when it comes to the tones that I was going for, but it's really close to the wood tone that we have with Eco Lifestyle and Snowy Escape. But I really, really loved this fireplace that we got with Snowy Escape. It really looks nice. It's quite modern and yet really simple. But yeah, I really, really had a lot of fun when it comes to building this house. Now, something that I really struggled with, and I actually had to cut off, I think, almost 30 minutes when it comes to the final footage, the final sped up footage of this speed build, I had to cut off 30 minutes of me trying to figure out how to make the garden, because I struggle with gardens, but even more with this house, because I really wanted to keep with this idea of minimalism. But the gardens, I don't know, I really, really struggled. And I'm sorry if you can hear some noise in the background. My cat is going crazy. But yeah, I was really struggling with the gardens because, like I said, I wanted to keep this idea of minimalism, but I didn't know how exactly to make that look like minimalism in the garden, if that makes any sense. So I tried to look for some pictures on Google to get some inspiration, but even though I really, really love this lot here in Evergreen Harbor because I'm building in Grimm's Quarry, I really like this lot, but it's not the best when it comes to shapes for the houses, because when your Sims spawn, they spawn where the front door of the house is. So basically, if you want to make a garden, the garden has to be on the side, which is kind of nice, especially with the layout of this house. But then the garden looks kind of strange. I don't know why. It felt really strange for me when I was trying to find a way to make the garden. So I had to cut off quite a bit of the final footage to be able to show you guys what I did with the garden. So it's really basic, really simple. I still need to improve quite a bit when it comes to making gardens in The Sims, but overall, I'm really pleased with this house, and I think that eventually, even just in my own gameplay, I'm going to play in this house because I really like how simple it is, and the fact that it's not too heavily decorated. I actually really like that. In real life, I don't necessarily like when it's not heavily decorated, when it's quite empty, but in The Sims, I really like it. Like, it's easy to move, there's not that many routing issues with The Sims especially, but I don't know, I really enjoy playing in a house that's really simple looking in The Sims. So when it comes to the color scheme inside, especially with the living, dining, and kitchen area, I went with really light blues and light wood tones, and it really gives this airy vibe to the house. As for the exterior though, I realized as I was decorating it a little bit with the windows, with the doors, with the solar panels as well that I'm going to put on the roof, and the chimney that I will use, I went for some kind of a red tone, which I like this contrast with the white, and I also used some green because there's a balcony on this house, and the balcony has a couple of lounge chairs that are in the red tones, and I decided to use grass on the ground, on the floor for this balcony for some reason. And I don't know, the green, the red, and the white just go so well together, like it contrasts really well. And for the fence that I will use as well for the outside, I went for the really, really dark, almost black wood tone. I think those fence came with the Perfect Patio stuff, and they look just so well with this house. I'm really pleased with the look of it. It's just the garden that I'm not really happy with. I really tried, but it was so difficult that eventually I decided to just go with what I usually do, you know, with the gardens, and just do something really simple with a barbecue area. I actually added a fire pit. I don't know why, for me it looks really fancy to have a fire pit in your house. And since I thought that this house was kind of fancy, I decided to add a fire pit. And also something that I'm really happy with and that I might actually use again in some other houses is that I added some kind of a little court on the side of the house where I placed a dumpster, the trash can, and also a dew collector, because I don't know, I wanted to add a dew collector somewhere. I really think that this house is kind of eco-friendly. So I decided to add this little court. You will see that eventually on the side. And I really like this idea because Sims in The Sims 4, when they're angry, when they're annoyed, they tend to, you know, kick the trash can and there's a bunch of trash everywhere, and then you end up having some trash plants and some trash fruits. And eventually it kind of gets annoying, but adding those fences around the trash can and the dumpster kind of stops the Sims if you decide to also, or if you remember, like myself, to lock the gate to the trash can. It stops the Sims from kicking the trash can and having a bunch of trash fruits everywhere. So if I play in this house, this is definitely something that I will try and remember to do. So here I'm actually trying to work on the exterior and trying to decorate it to make it look a bit fancy in a way, you know, have this house have this fancy look kind of. But I really, really struggled with the exterior. I actually really like this plot of grass that I've put on the front of the house with this pine tree kind of. Also, when it comes to the how is it called? The greeneries and the plants that I've used outside, I tried to stick with the feel of Grimm's Quarry, which has a lot of pine trees and evergreen trees. I tried to stick with that just so that this house doesn't stand out like a sore thumb, you know, in this neighborhood. But here you can see what I tried to do with the garden at first. Eventually the garden will actually be a little bit smaller than it is now. And so here is when I'm actually starting to work on the dumpster trash can area. Although I just put the fences and then I moved on, because as I was building this house, actually, I completely forgot for a while that I was recording, and sometimes I just wasn't doing anything and my OBS was still recording my game, but I wasn't doing anything. But yeah, recently I've been forgetting that I'm recording every time I build, which is a kind of a good sign, because that means that I'm being a bit more myself when I'm recording speed builds. Usually I'm always thinking that I'm recording, so I need to go fast, I need to choose quickly, but here I really hesitated a long time on many items, especially in the bedroom here. I think I cut off most of the footage here because I was struggling to find the colors for the hand table and just the decorations that I was going to put in this room. I think I switched the color theme of the bed a couple times, as well as for the end table as well. I think I've changed it a few times. But yeah, I really enjoyed building and decorating this place. I think I'm going to try and make my houses look a little bit more minimalistic. Not minimalistic, minimalist in the future. By the way, funny little detail, the name that I chose for this house, which is Minimalistic, is actually how I thought the minimalism style was called for some reason. Even in French, it's not called minimalistic, so I have no idea why in my mind it was called minimalistic, but it's not minimalistic, it's minimalist, or minimalism. So that's why I decided to call this house Minimalistic. But yeah, the color theme in this house, I'm just really in love with it. It's so soft and so sweet. I don't know why, I really like it. So when it comes to the decorations inside this house, as you can see, there's not a whole lot. There's not even a whole lot of plants anywhere. I think I put one here in this landing area downstairs. I think there's just a couple of plants, but that's it. Usually there's a lot of plants everywhere in my houses, but here it's just really simple. And so here I'm starting to work on the child's bedroom kind of, and when it came to choosing the bed that I was going to use, I didn't want to use any beds that were too heavily decorated because I wanted to stick with this idea of minimalism. And when it comes to minimalism, everything has really simple shapes, really light colors. It's really, it has in a way, it has to be easy on the eyes, I feel like. So when I chose the bed, I think I went with the bed that came with Snowy Escape because the colors really went well with the wallpaper that I decided to use as an accent wood wallpaper, which is a trick that I did in almost every single room of this house because it adds a little bit of shape in a way inside the build. But I really struggled to go with this green wallpaper, but I wanted to keep it this way. I thought about changing this accent wallpaper in a way, but I don't know, I really like that green color and I decided to stick with it, and eventually I'm really happy with the result. But when it comes to the decorations on the wall, I thought using, the posters that we got with Parenthood, but I thought it was a little bit too heavy on the eye because it was a little bit too messy. So I decided to go with those trees that came as well with Parenthood to put on the walls, those tree stickers that you can put on the wall, because I was thinking that the parents who were living in this house would be really into eco lifestyle and being they were trying to raise their children to be aware of their environment and taking care of the planet and everything, so they wanted to have those trees on the wall just to remind them kind of what it is to live in the nature, etc., etc. So here I'm moving on to the balcony, and as you can see, I've placed a flower arrangement table. I have no idea why. I just thought that it would look great here, and also I didn't really know what to put else over here. Here I'm moving on to the bathroom, actually the shower upstairs. And I decided to use this open shower that came with Snowy Escape. I really like the style of it. It looks really modern and really simple as well, which is why I used it. And here I'm actually going to use the sink that we got with Eco Lifestyle. I've never used it before, I think, because I thought that it looked kind of strange. But this blue glass thing that we have on the sink, which kind of looks weird, to be honest, goes really well in this bathroom because of the colors that I chose, and it goes well as well with the shower that I chose. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this bathroom, and everything works fine, by the way. I didn't really need to use too much of the move objects sheet, but for the few bits that I've used, the Sims can move around really easily. I was kind of afraid for the bathrooms because I was worried that the Sims couldn't use the shower, but thankfully they can use everything. I was also a little bit worried that because of the kind of laundry basket that I've put on the side of the sink, that the Sims couldn't enter the bathroom, but they can. And I haven't encountered yet the glitch of the stairs, thankfully. I don't really know what causes this glitch, but I've heard that some Simmers cannot use the stairs when they, I think, close the area or kind of leave it open. I don't really know why, but I haven't encountered this issue yet, which I feel kind of lucky about. But here I'm starting to work on the garden area, and like I said, I really struggled, and I've cut off, I think, more than 30 minutes of the final footage. But here I think it's kind of the final test that I did with this garden area. I don't even know anymore, but I really, really struggled. In any case, in this garden there's a fireplace, not a fireplace, there's a fire pit and a barbecue area with a picnic table. It's also kind of in the red color theme that I said I was going for the outside, which really looks great, especially because the solar panels are on this side of the garden, and I feel like it kind of goes well together. I also used this, how is it called? You know, that came with outdoor retreat? The cooler? I don't exactly remember the name of it. But yeah, I've placed that just next to the barbecue, as if, you know, the Sims were putting all of their vegetables in there, or maybe their meat and stuff. I don't know, it looked kind of realistic to me, and I think I'm going to do that a bit more often because it looks great. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I had to say about this house. I really hope you guys like it. As usual, you will find all of the information to download it on the gallery in the description below, but you can also follow the link that I will put on there to just go onto the online gallery to download it over there. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.